You are about to see some of what happened about a year before the police murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And this confirms the notion that George Floyd was not a one-off. He was not an aberration. This happened before in Louisiana. Like with Floyd, the killing was shrouded in lies for years until now. The video had been held pending investigation. We'll get into what that means. There were no people around, like with George Floyd, to pull out cell phones, but the officers did have body cams on, and what you are about to see was known to police and maybe other officials. Here's the situation. Ronald Greene, 49 years old, was chased by state troopers in the middle of the night while driving. Now, all we know about what led up to this is that police wanted to pull Greene over for some sort of traffic violation, or so they claimed, and they say he ran. Well, there's certainly a pursuit. A lawsuit by Greene's family claims that police told them he died instantly in a car accident after hitting a tree. At least that's what his mother was told by one officer, she says. The Associated Press obtained what it says is about 46 minutes of the body cam video. So far, it's only posted a little over 2 minutes worth, but it goes a long way. It is disturbing, and as always, I give you the option that it's hard to watch. But you know how I feel about this. If you want to deal with reality, you got to face the reality. And it starts with the moment that troopers tase Greene through his open car door after the chase. Here it is.
Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, mother. Come here, mother. I got. Get out. Okay. Okay. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, get up. Let me see your hands. I'm scared. I'm your brother. I'm scared.
All right, now what you hear there is, I'm sorry, I'm scared, I'm your brother, I'm scared. That is Greene's voice. First of all, what does that tell us? He is not dead on impact. Now, once he is out of the car, a second video shows Greene forced to the ground, punched repeatedly, and tased again. Here it is.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Taser! Put your hands behind your back. Behind your back.
Make sure he is rolling.
Put your hands behind your back. Oh, God damn it, get up here! Get that on. You better not move. Got it? All over. This guy ain't got AIDS.
At the end, that's the officer saying, I've got blood all over me. I hope this guy ain't got bleeping AIDS. Then the audio is cut off. So we don't know what else is being said, but we can see. And in this next clip, I would say that you should watch the lower left side to start, okay? A trooper uses his foot to force Greene to lay face down. Do you see what's happening here? Okay? So he's got him laying face down. Remember, he's cuffed. You can see the cuffs in the lower left-hand corner. He's not going anywhere. Then this, a few moments later. You got ankle cuffs on him. They get him on. So now they will drag him by the ankles. Are they trained to do that? The AP reports Greene was then left face down for more than 5 minutes. I know that number is haunting. You remember it from George Floyd. While troopers use sanitizer wipes to clean the blood off their hands and faces, they don't do a thing to get Greene medical aid. Please keep all of that in mind when you learn how the state police originally described what happened in their initial complaint. Here it is. The pursuit ended when Greene crashed his vehicle. Greene was taken into custody after resisting arrest and a struggle with troopers. A short time later, Greene became unresponsive and was transported to Glenwood Medical Center. Greene died while en route to Glenwood Medical Center. What is left out of that? Everything that you just saw. Nothing there suggests the car crash is why Greene died. Struggle doesn't really capture it, does it? Does it capture how he was treated, how he was dragged by his ankles when he was ankle cuffed and cuffed behind his back with his arms? That he'd been tased repeatedly? Did he just become unresponsive? The AP also obtained a medical report. An ER doctor wrote that when Greene's body reached the hospital, it was bruised and bloodied with 2 stun gun prongs in his back. The AP says that led the doctor to question troopers' initial account that Greene had died on impact after crashing into a tree. Does not add up, the doctor wrote. The state police don't want anyone putting the video out there, they say, because of the state and federal investigations that are still underway. 2 years, no charges, all this body cam video. Isn't that a lot to go on, to have this protracted a period of analysis? And add this to the mix, a trooper making this admission. Look, at least the officer gives detail that the report did not, right? Now, it would be helpful to talk to that trooper about the events of that night, but he is also dead. He was killed in a single car crash in September, reportedly not long after learning he'd be fired for his role that night. Tonight, a state official with knowledge of the Greene case tells CNN that state police were investigating this incident as a criminal matter the night of the event. That source tells us in their words, the narrative that he died from a car crash, I don't know where that came from. This has been a criminal investigation since day one. So then not just the officers at the scene, but obviously investigating officers, and maybe that means other public officials, have been aware of this video for this long, and yet it has never been made public because it was necessary for the investigation. This long, all that video, no action taken. Does that sound right? CNN has reached out to the other officers' attorneys for comment on the video. We're waiting. Right now, I'm joined by Ronald Greene's sister, Alana Wilson, and Ron Haley, an attorney for the family. I want to thank you both. I'm sorry, Alana, to meet you under these circumstances, but I know you want this story told. To help us understand the difference between what you've seen and what you've been told, what were you told initially about this?
Initially, I was told he died from a car accident. He went through the windshield, he hit a tree, and he died on impact.
Who told you that?
I was the first one to receive the call, and I spoke to a state trooper.
And was it a trooper who identified themselves as having been at the scene, or were they just passing along information?
He wouldn't say.
When did you get to see video?
Yesterday.
What did it mean to you, what we all just watched?
I'm saddened by the reality of the world that Black and brown people have to live in this day. It's not our American dream.
When you had believed that long that it was a car crash, and then got to see such a different reality in the video. What was the hardest part for you emotionally in processing that?
Honestly, I haven't even been able to process it. I'm still on the hunt and on a chase for finding justice for my brother, period.
Why do you think it has been so long without any action taken?
Because it's a cover-up on so many levels. From the EMTs to the troopers to the Senate, the governor, the DA. We've been getting a runaround since day one. We were told there was going to be a setback due to the holidays. It was going to be a setback due to the pandemic. It's been over 730 days.
Counselor, what is your best sense of why the investigation has taken this long and why the video hasn't come out? And doing a little legal research, they don't have a law like the North Carolina we've been struggling with that unless the DA wants it out, you have to have a court order and a judge. I believe we have the language. If you can put it up on the screen for everybody, fine. If not, from my memory, it's that you need body-worn camera video or audio recordings that are determined by the custodian to violate an individual's reasonable expectation of privacy shall be disclosed upon a determination and order from a court of competent jurisdiction. So that raises two questions. One, who had a reasonable expectation of privacy except Mr. Greene, who is deceased, because the others are officers wearing the camera as part of their job? And did anybody file an order like that on behalf of the family?
Well, listen, Chris, thank you for having me. Let's talk about this from a practical manner. The release of the video and the damage that it does to the credibility of the Louisiana State Police is exactly the reason why it's been suppressed. The suppression of the truth has gone on for 2 years because you saw what is on there. And what you saw on that video was murder. Murder that has not been accounted for. Understand this, these troopers have been allowed to still serve the Louisiana State Police and possibly violate other civil rights for 2 years. There's been no arrest. The most someone has gotten is 50 hours of leave time. And that is laughable and a slap in the face to justice and a slap in the face to the Greene family.
Has anyone been fired?
No.
And when you saw the video and you went to the authorities and say this is not how it was explained as a vehicular death, that he died in the car, what has been their response?
Silence. It's under investigation. Just the idea, quote unquote, that we can't release anything because it's under investigation. Look, this is an excuse. This is the playbook that the Louisiana State Police does all the time. This is not limited to Ronald Greene. We have Aaron Bowman, who was beat the same way 2 weeks after this incident by the same folks in Troop F. And understand this, Chris, the Louisiana State Police is in charge with investigating 99% of the excessive force and wrongful death cases against police departments throughout the state of Louisiana. Do you think they should be the ones investigating these cases? I think not.
They say they still don't want the video released. A source told CNN this has always been handled as a criminal matter. Do you believe that?
Absolutely not. This is an embarrassment. And the idea they want to hide behind the idea that this is somehow going to tilt the wheels of justice or create an impartial balance. Chris, let me tell this to the country. That's the point of body cams, right? Body cams are supposed to be the most impartial proof of evidence when it pertains to a citizen and police officer interaction. The camera doesn't lie. And in this case, the camera doesn't lie. The camera shows murder.
Alana, they say their description is that they had to do this to subdue your brother. What do you think of that, and what do you want people to know about Ronald Greene?
I want people to know that Ronald loved people, and you can hear that in his voice. He said, "I'm scared. I'm telling you, I'm scared." His hands were up. "I'm scared. You're my brother." That's who he was. And he exuded that even in the midst of them taking him down. They said it was a struggle. He didn't struggle at all. As soon as they came in, they tased him right away.